So today I want to talk about going slow and steady. So for the past 3 years, I was buying a lot of real estate. I was scaling rapidly. I bought 80 units in an 8 month window. I bought my 26 unit, my 20 unit, my mobile home park. And on top of that, I actually um, made two offers. I made an offer on a mobile home slash RV park in Oklahoma. Thank God that fell through during due diligence. And I actually made an offer on a 50 unit in Oklahoma, and I actually got beat out on that one. So thank God that those deals fell through, because had I bought them, I would have been way over leveraged, wouldn't have had enough money to finish the projects, and probably would be a lot more stressed and maybe bankrupt. So, as I was going so fast, because I was really impatient. I was on a huge death march to financial independence, early retirement. I wanted to retire by 35, making $20,000 a month, and I just thought, okay, I need to buy this real estate, stabilize it, and I'll get there. But what I kind of realized was I was like death sprinting. I was going real fast, and it really burnt me out. It overly stressed me and made me not enjoy real estate investing as much. So after going through this journey, I realized that it's all about doing something for a long period of time without burning yourself out and without hating it, right? So what does that mean? So for me, it means that how can I invest in a way that I can sustain it over the rest of my life? I started investing at 27, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. So let's just say I live to 87. So how can I do this for 60 years in a way that's sustainable, in a way that doesn't burn me out, and in a way that doesn't make me hate real estate? So once you kind of think of anything you do that way, it kind of helps create a filter on what things you actually want to do, right? So can I imagine myself doing real estate for 70 years? Answer is yes, 60, 70 years. So most likely, okay, now the answer is how can I do real estate for 60 to 70 years? And at my current level, at my current rate, in my current financial situation, I could probably buy a apartment complex, 25 to about 50 units every about 2 3 years. Fix up those 50 units and then stabilize it, do a cash out refinance. I know, given my current track record, probably about 2 3 years. Right? It took me about a year and a half for my 26 unit. So if I had a 50 unit, then maybe about 2.5 to 3 years. And I can do that and repeat that process over again. I have a system in place, right? Just send out direct mail, analyze deals, make offers, and then renovate them using my same property manager, same general contractor, same renovation style. Copy and paste. I know the rents are going to be around $700 to $800, right? So it's very easy. I know I can do this sustainably every 2 3 years easily, like not me even trying. But let's just say my circumstance changes where maybe I retired from my day job and I have more time and I want to scale. Then in that case, I could basically buy more apartment comp. Maybe I can buy like a 100 unit, right? Maybe I can cash out refinance a couple of my apartments, pull that money together and buy a 100 unit apartment complex. But at that point, I know I'm like done buying real estate for the next 2 3 years, right? As I'm stabilizing that. So, for me, it's definitely sustainable just to keep on buying apartment complexes in Oklahoma, single family homes in California, but not sustainable to like buy mobile home park, self storage, industrial real estate, retail strip centers. Like, I don't want to jump around different asset classes and have that shiny object syndrome. So, knowing that, like, okay, like I don't want to jump around a lot because it's more stress on me. My chance of losing money is higher and my stress level goes up. So it's not worth it right now when I can easily do apartment complexes to the point in Oklahoma where it's boring. Like if I were to buy apartment complexes in Tennessee or Georgia, I'm starting over from scratch, right? I need a new team, new property manager, new general contractor, new lending connections. You need to rebuild that up from the ground up, right? It's easier for me just to scale in Oklahoma and continue what I'm doing easily. So that's what I mean by building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Like for me, I was sprinting like crazy, right? And I get it. When I started investing in apartments when around 30, 31, I wanted to expedite financial independence because you listen to all these podcasts and they're like, oh, I own like 5 units and I retired in like 2 years. And I'm just like, well, I own 90 units of real estate and I'm still working, right? So it kind of created this like dissonance in me. It made me like unhappy. the comparison trap, which I have a whole video on that. But with all that being left aside, like, I came to the realization that I need to sustain um, that level. I need to sustain buying real estate over a long period of time, and that'll guarantee me wealth, right? And in order to sustain buying real estate, I need to make sure that I'm cash flowing. I need to make sure that I'm not doing multiple value add deals at the same time, so I have adequate reserves to finish renovating everything, right? So back to my prior example, I just had enough money to renovate my 26 unit, my 20 unit, and sell my mobile home park at a loss. Had I bought the 50 unit or the additional mobile home park, I wouldn't have enough money or reserves to keep on going, and I might have to sell multiple at a loss, right? If I, leveraged into other businesses and didn't have the cash reserves, I would have been wiped out, and I would be in a poor financial situation, right? So for me, in order to keep playing the game of real estate, I need to have big reserves, right? Big cash reserves. That's why I want to have at least $200,000 just sitting in the bank for a rainy day and for any of my properties, right? And they'll sit free and clear. Whatever money's above that, I can just invest that money. So, and as you buy more real estate, how much reserve you have will keep on going up, up, and up. And the next concept too is like, okay, let's apply that marathon concept to like working out. So, what workout could I do that I can sustain for the rest of my life? Right? Like in my 20s, I deadlifted, squat, benched. But could I do that in my 60s, 70s? Maybe. But over time, it may injure my joints. It may hurt my joints, right? It may make me too sore. It may injure myself. And it's not worth it. So in that case, maybe powerlifting isn't sustainable for the rest of my life, but can I do other machine workouts? Can I do like riding a bicycle? Yes, I can. So I should keep on doing that, right? So I'm trying to pivot more towards like, higher reps, less weight, higher reps, less weight. Before I was heavyweight, less reps, right? But that's not sustainable for the rest of my life. So same thing with like my pharmacy business. Like I just was short-sighted, right? I opened my own independent pharmacy. It required a lot of time. I'm actually trying to retire early from pharmacy. Yet I thought it was a good idea to invest in a independent pharmacy. So that's what I mean by like, does it make sense for your current situation? That one didn't. Amazon drop shipping, like, will that be around in 70 years? Probably not, right? Like, it's definitely dying now. Creating content, like, can I do this for the rest of my life? I think I can, because I just love sharing my knowledge. I love giving value. I love learning. I love teaching. It brings me a lot of fulfillment. So, and it doesn't really stress me out. It's actually very therapeutic for me to like share my mindset and document my journey. And it's nice for me to look back in like 5-10 years and be like, wow, this was my mindset back then, right? So it's kind of like a digital diary in a way. So I can do that. So, can I continue buying index funds for the rest of my life, or Apple stocks for the rest of my life? The answer is probably yes, right? Like, those are sustainable. So to kind of summarize this video, you gotta treat whatever you're doing as a marathon, not a sprint. Like, can you do this? Ask yourself anything new that you want to start. Can I do this for 60 years and sustain this pace for 60 years? If the answer is yes, then do it. If the answer is no, then reconsider it, right? Like, how can I make this sustainable for 60 years? Just like house flippers. They people flip 300 houses a year. Can you sustain that for 60 years? I don't think so, right? Like, I don't think I can sustain flipping houses for 60 years. That sounds like too much work. But can I sustain buying single family homes in a market that I know, California, Huntsville, Alabama? Probably can sustain that for buying for the rest of my life. Can I sustain buying apartment complex in Oklahoma for the rest of my life? I probably can as well. So can I sustain buying index funds for the rest of my life? Yeah, it's really easy. Can I sustain creating content and sharing what I love to do and learn? Yes, I can. Right? I love teaching. I love sharing my knowledge. I want to help people get to my level of financial freedom, right, at a faster pace than me, and have a more realistic outlook towards it, and not be all rosy. So, so because of that, I know I can sustain buying real estate. I know I can sustain creating content. I know I can sustain index funds. I know I can sustain learning and self-educating myself. I know I can sustain, doing more moderate exercises at the gym. So, remember, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I know when you're younger, it feels like life is long, like especially when you're 18 years old and 2 years is like 10% of your life. That seems like a lot, but as you age, time starts to fly, and years start to fly by. Like, I can't believe I bought my first apartment complex like almost 2.5 years ago, and now they're stabilized, right? And now I'm making $10,000 a month, and and I sold my mobile home park 2 months ago, and those 2 months flew by. So, time will fly by. Just be patient. I think I heard a famous quote saying, "Speed up your micro and slow down your macro." So what that means is, on a day-to-day basis, treat everything with a sense of urgency. Complete things timely, right? Send letters, make offers, analyze deals. That's your micro. For the macro, the big picture is, like, if you want to retire in like 10 years, slow it down. Maybe you can retire in 20 years. Maybe you can retire in 30 years. Maybe you'll build a net worth, what you want, in like a longer time window, right? Like, I want to retire at 35, but if I change the macro to like 45, I know I can retire by 45 easily, right? Like, 35 still might be obtainable, right? If I buy another piece of real estate, stabilize it, it might be sustainable. So remember, speed up the micro, slow down the macro. So hopefully this gave you some insight on how to look at things that you want to pursue, like whether it's real estate, investing, businesses, and help change your mindset. So hopefully you found value. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below. Love to answer the questions in these videos. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.